What's going on, YouTube? Today I wanted to make a couple videos. This one, more specifically, we're going to cover this product right here, the Scott's Patchmaster, and it is the sun and shade mix, and it says that we should be able to see germination in about 7 days. Now, if you guys are following the channel, also today I'm going to make another video to cover this product right here. We're going to talk about what's in that and the best way to lay that down, and then we're going to go over the good old dethatching with a couple of rakes that I have set out here. So you guys stay tuned, that's what's coming up. Alright, so if you guys have been following the channel, obviously you've seen the yard probably more than once. I just cut it yesterday and it's getting pretty warm, and I think I'm about to go for what most people would call crazy, because it's moving into the hot season. It's moving into that time where it's almost impossible to keep the ground moist, maybe too hot for grass to grow. For instance, I planted this not too long ago, and it's kind of hardened off. But you can see, I don't know if I can pull those apart. That's one blade right there, and it's got a couple different shoots on it. That's going to be our fescue. The bluegrass mix that I'm about to put down, it's not all bluegrass. It's mostly a fescue mix for heat and drought, but it does also contain some Kentucky bluegrass. So as we go ahead and get to that, we're going to, I'll go over all the things, explain about your germination and your watering and how many days. But also today I'm going to go ahead and try to do some dethatching. I kind of did it in this area, but a lot of these spots are probably from a lot of the weeds, because I did lay down the Ortho a little while ago. But I wanted to kind of explain when you're going to dethatch, that's going to be what makes a lot of this happen better. If you're going to lay down seed, if you're going to do any weed treatment, you want to make sure that you're essentially coming down to a dirt surface. If I stick my finger in there and I kind of claw it back, it's all dirt right there, right? We don't want to be trying to seed on something like this, because that seed will sit right on top of the dead grass. It will never get that dirt contact, and that's going to stop airflow. The roots won't be able to develop. And also, if you're doing treatment with certain weeds like clover and all that, you probably want to go over after a while and dethatch. Now, I'm going to do a little bit here and there. I'm going to do some spot treatments, because most of the grass is doing okay, and the grass seed is pretty much enough to cover 5,000 square feet, I believe, if you're overseeding, and I think it's like 2,000 or 2,200 if you're doing just straight seeding. So what I'm going to try to do today, just some of the areas like this, I'm going to try to rake up some of them and put some patchmaster down. Also try to dethatch some of the little spots. Now, I do have an upcoming video soon, probably in about a week or so, where I'm going to order a product from Arnold, which is the thatching lawn blade that has a couple springs on it, and it'll tear everything up real nice. But I think for the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and try to seed and patch and keep the weeds back. Like I said, we're moving in the summer. I'm going to go ahead and get the blade, and then once what I put down, the grass seed, the patch, once I put that down and it's established itself, it's hardened off, it's resilient, it's come to a spot like this, then at that point I'll go ahead and break out the thatch blade, just in preparation for fall. So I'll probably thatch, let's see, we're coming up to June. Today is May 27th, Memorial Day is tomorrow, and today is May 27th. And I think probably around the end of June, maybe moving into July, if not mid-July, is when I'll go ahead and dethatch, and then that should give the grass plenty enough time. I might even have to wait till going into August itself, just because I'm going to have bluegrass that's going to be needing to germinate. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm about to do is insanity, because you're not really supposed to put grass seed down in the summer. There's no like natural law that says you can't, but when you do it, you have to stay on top of it with watering. And I don't have an irrigation system, I just have my handy dandy hose. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the dethatching process. So I'm gonna go ahead and just rake up a little bit here and show you just a little spot. Maybe I'll go ahead and let me see if I can find a good section here. So we got the tree. We're just gonna go a few feet in this little spot right here, and I will show you guys what that looks like. Before we actually get into getting into the dethatch, I'm using this garden rake to initially start, and the way I'm gonna use that is just set it down and just pull. Thatch itself can be quite tanglesome, and I might, you know what, let me give this a shot. I might be able to just kind of give you guys an example. But if I just, like right by the tree, if I just drop this down and I just pull, it's got some pull in it, you know, it's thick, and that's thatch. That's just from that one spot. I go over it a couple times, you know, eventually it gets to where the grass, you know, almost feels like you're not even hitting the grass. How about that action right there, that single foot on the rake? And I mean, that's just in a little section right there. Let's see if I can't pull that off. There we go. So that's just from a little spot, and I'm gonna do this section, and I'm just gonna keep going over it and keep going over it until I come up with nothing else. Now obviously I'm not really putting much effort. I got to put some pressure down on it, and I'm gonna look ridiculous if I'm doing this all day. So I'll go ahead and do a little spot, and I'll come back and I'll show you what we do with the other rake. Okay, so I just did that little section, and that was a little bit of thunder. Trying to hurry before the storm comes. But let's get to this spot right here. So you can see the dirt a little bit better, and there's a pile of what kind of came up. Now I did it, here's my finger, you saw me raking it this way, and then I came to the side, and then I did it this way, and then I came to the side and I did it this way, and then once again I did it this way. And what that did was kind of took it in every direction, and now you can see how much thinner it is underneath the grass. You can see the dirt, and it helps kind of loosen the dirt just a little bit. Now this is what you get with the hand rake, and then afterwards you want to go over it with your regular leaf rake and just kind of rake that together. And then I usually like scissor them in a way to pick it up, and I take it over to my compost on the other side of the dumpster there. But that's going to help get rid of all that dead grass at the bottom, and you can put your grass seed down and that'll hit the dirt clearly. And then afterwards, you know, that rake, your leaf rake is going to go right through that like butter. The upside is this is really good for the grass because it's aerating, it's allowing air to get to the roots, it's allowing the soil to breathe better. Downside, makes the grass look a lot thinner. So if you guys are considering aerating and dethatching and doing the whole you know, shebang, expect something like this, because that's like this is exactly what you're going for. You're trying to pull everything out underneath, or at least most of it. A little bit's not bad. A lot of people will say that having some thatch is good just because of the biomaterial in it, the breakdown, the recycling of the nitrogen in the grass. I leave that to a personal preference, but just in this, you know, I'd say 3 foot by 3 foot spot, we pulled out a pretty decent, you know, amount of just stuff, and it's mostly all dead. A little bit of dirt in there, but I mean this is all junk that's smothering our grass, and this has moisture in it, whereas the dirt kind of doesn't. And that's where you run into the problems of the water not really getting into the dirt but just staying in the thatch. I'm gonna, you know, save some explanation, I guess. You just go and grab this rake and show you. But once you've dethatched, what you're gonna get, I mean, I'll show you over here. It kind of feels like it's sticky, where if I come through here, it's like butter. It just goes through like butter, because all the grass itself is gonna go in between the tines. But what catches it is the thatch gets hooked up on the ends of the tines, and that's where you start, you know, catching and snagging, and that's where, you know, you'll know when you've dethatched enough, if you pulled enough. That's just kind of one way to tell. But doing this ultimately makes it where you can get better results with your grass seed, better results with your weed killer, better results with your fertilizer. And If you aerate, that even goes even further. Probably what I'll do is just go ahead and try to dethatch as much as I can in most of these spots, and then I'll get this other video going where I put down the products, and hopefully I get that before, you know, the big storm starts to come in. So y'all stay tuned, and I hope this video has helped you guys out. I'll kind of have a follow-up with this. If you guys want to see the results, just go ahead and subscribe. I'm doing videos, 2 to 3 videos a week. I try to stay current, and I try to keep giving updates as often as possible. So I mean, if you guys want to see what happens with this yard, and actually just to see how far this yard has come, go ahead and subscribe, or just go to my channel, or just look up making my crappy yard look nice, and look for part 1, and you'll see where we came from and where we got to, because at one time all of this was dead and there was a lot more spots over here. So I mean, we've gotten better results, but I'm gonna push to go ahead and aerate, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump into doing some patchmaster in some of these spots, you know. And to give you an idea, patchmaster is really good for spots like this. If you have areas like this, you can kind of do it lightly, but I would just overseed in spots like this, and then I would use the patchmaster for the more broad spots. The patchmaster is designed to be able to blanket, cover, provide nutrients, and keep moisture. And a lot of spots like where you have grass, if you have thick grass, you know, this acts as a good canopy to keep the moisture down below in the soil, you know. And just running my hand, it kind of starts to feel that it's getting a little moist because it's holding that moisture. That's what a healthy lawn will do, and we'll get there one day. So y'all stay tuned, and just look for the update. Sorry, my hand's shaky. I drink a lot of coffee, guys. I gotta have the energy to do all this. So, but don't forget to leave any comments below if you guys have any questions, if you have any suggestions. I will be posting the Arnold blade that I'm going to be purchasing, and I'll be doing a full review on that. Again, like I said, it might be a month or 2, because in the Kentucky bluegrass that is in this mix right here, I really tried to get the sticker off, but you can see it says tall fescue and bluegrass something for deep roots. I believe it's a bluegrass blend. I believe that's what that says. But essentially, the fescue will germinate within, you know, 10 to 15 days. The bluegrass is going to take anywhere up to 30 days. But we'll see what we get out of this, and we'll see what we get out of this. You guys just stay tuned, and these videos will be coming up soon.